in order to be able to move past that limitation. But you still don't have to take huge steps. You can if you like, but generally what works best in most people's consciousness and the consciousness of the planet is when we move forward incrementally and take baby steps. And you can take relatively sizable baby steps each and every day, and you go a long way by doing that. And it works really well because the unconscious won't produce so much of resistance and a fight, because you're saying, look, okay, well, we're only here. We're only going to move forward this far. And if we move forward this far, we can check and see if we're okay and if we might go back. Often when people take two bigger steps forward, it's that take one step forward, two steps back. That doesn't really happen with baby steps, because you end up sort of moving forward incrementally where you're constantly feeling safe. It produces very little emotional charge within the nervous system. So you're constantly feeling, okay, I'm going to take this action. What do you experience on a 0 to 10 about taking this action? A 2, a 0, or a 1, or a 2, or a 3, possibly. If it's 4, 5, 6, it's probably too big a step. But, you know, go for it if you want to. But generally, if the step's too big, I think what happens is the unconscious will then sabotage because it's moved forward too quickly. It's like, you know, you take like you do something that's like provoking like a big step, and it's sort of like 8, 9, 10 out of 10. And the unconscious gets into that reality. It's there. It's got it, and then it will go, oh my God, I'm in this reality. I've got nothing to back me up. This is strange. All of this new reality, and then it will almost sort of want to move back to where it was, and sometimes go back even further because it doesn't trust your judgment in moving forward so quickly. So it sabotages and goes no, and the part that doesn't want to move forward moves you so far further back from where you once were in order to protect you. So that's the 1 step forward, 2 step back thing. It's all about the unconscious mind and all about the resolution of the conflicts between the parts that go on within us. So, 0 to 10, sadness towards your knees, or sadness about your knees.
It's about a 2 or a 1.
Okay. I'd say that's a pretty good session then. And is it sadness towards your knees or about your knees? Is there a difference?
No, there's not a difference.
Okay. How do your knees actually feel right now, in this moment?
This moment, they're just tight.
They're tight.
But
keep reassuring them that you love them, that you respect them, that you honour them, because what they're wanting for you is something that's really positive. They want you to be safe, and they're going, no, we're not moving forward, no. Just keep loving them. Just keep loving them, because they're trying to protect you. And the more you do, the more that they'll begin to soften, and they'll begin to go, yeah, well, actually, if we do stay here, even though we're safe, it's really tight and uncomfortable. And what they want is to experience a lighter sense of peace and a warmth and a fluidity, which is what that joint does as we move forward. It's sort of fluid and very freeing.
It's just hard to imagine that all of the joint problems are from emotional things. But I mean, I can see it how it is, but it's just hard for me to get my head around that yet.
Okay, all right. Well, here we are. Messages from the Body. This is one of the books that I use. So, knee problems. Major change. Ramrod rigid. Maya max. As well as nobody tells me what to do and inflated ambitions. Knees, let's go with this one. Their beliefs in life about what they thought they could believe in and had to be true are just being blown up in the water by current developments and realities. Their life course is changing dramatically and are having a great deal of difficulty accepting the direction it's taking. They are deep in destiny conflicts as their future becomes unclear. Their self-worth, identity and social acceptance are on the line. Their response is to hunker in the bunker in an inflexible holding pattern onto the past as a self-protection and self-reassurance strategy. They come from a rather traditional or mainstream family that had hung up in principles, and they were having difficulty dealing with where the world was taking them. Ramrod rigid is they're having problems with surrendering to spontaneity, flow and fluidity, along with an inability to bend and to be giving. They are rather intensely inflexible, and they are therefore in constant conflict with the requirements of life. Maya Max, they are having serious integration and direction issues, and they are unable to display much, if any, forgiveness, understanding or compassion. I don't think that's you. Nobody tells me what to do. They are heavily into rebellious child, authority, freak and control avoidance. I don't see that with you. Inflated ambitions. They display little, if any, humility. I don't see that with you. And they are full of stubborn ego and pridefulness. There's a great deal of resentful antagonism and feelings of being underrated. However, this is serving as a cover, an excuse for not standing up for their own point of view. At the base of it is a deep fear of failure and an abiding competence anxiety, a fear that they can't make it to the top or that they won't be able to complete their ambitions. It arises out of their not having the experience of their own authority, which is earned respect based on their track record. This fear comes from an intense programming from the family to be overly ambitious, self-sabotaging, or success avoidant as a means of keeping them around the old homestead. So if you get too successful, we're going to lose you. We don't want you to move forward. We don't want you to be successful. So all of this stuff is connected within the mind. So when you say kneecap problems, we've got right kneecap, success avoidance. They are shooting themselves from in the foot in reaction to the requirement that they move beyond their family's pattern towards their destiny. So it's almost like you're unconsciously going, well, I can't. It's like your destiny feels like you need to be this person because that's who you are. It's who you truly are. But your conditioning says, no, we can't do that. That's not us. No, we can't do that. And that's coming from the family. And it's not necessarily that they've said that to you, but it's just the general beliefs of you can't be successful, or you just feel that if you were, it's going to equal more pain than pleasure. And that's why your unconscious mind goes, we're going to find the greatest way to prevent you from being able to move forward and being able to find your happiness. Left kneecap problems. It says, hell no, I won't go. They are systematically refusing to respond to their inner imperatives to manifest their destiny in accordance with their soul's intents and with the divine design. So, basic belief violations, fundamental assumption, outmoding, kneecap problems, immobilization. They are so caught up in the struggle with the requirement to change and or implement their destiny, they have come to an impasse. They were heavily programmed by their family to conform to the family's values, beliefs, life ways, and expectations of and intentions for them. Families don't do this negatively, even though it might necessarily, it sounds negative and it comes out and, well, that's really negative. Majority of our families are wanting us to experience pleasure and to prevent us from pain. But they're only coming from their own beliefs. And a lot of them, as they're human beings, are full of limiting beliefs. So if you've got parents who say, we believe in you, you could write a book, we'll support you, we'll do this and we'll do that, and maybe your dad's an author and your mum's a television presenter or I don't know, something. They're successful. One's a doctor, one's a solicitor. They're successful. And they have feelings about being successful, and you should follow your heart, follow your bliss, and do what you're meant to do. And if you had that at a core level, you wouldn't have the kind of beliefs that you've got. Same as me. I didn't think this was a job. I thought this is a terrible thing to go into. My heart wanted to. My head took me years to be able to get around that sort of those limiting beliefs and sort of start to be able to move forward because I didn't see this as a job. I saw this as you can't charge money for doing this. So it took me a long time to realise that. And my dad taught me proper work is when you get home, and you've done a hard day's work. Now, he never told me that by words, but he communicated it through being it. And you follow your parents because they're our examples. They are our gods and our goddesses as we're growing up. And we either model them unconsciously or anti-model them unconsciously. And we'll do both for our own purpose, pleasure or pain. But if you follow your dreams and go with your heart and work through the challenges, your physical body will begin to restore itself. Now, I'm not saying that, it's ever going to be 100%. But who knows what will happen? Certainly, if you have less fear and more flexibility within your beliefs and your mind, your physiological body will catch up and begin to operate in that way. In the same way as if you were constantly angry and bitter all the time. Imagine you see people, you've seen those people in life really angry and bitter at everything, and they tend to have physiological problems as a result of that. There's so much acidity that's going on in them because they've been so big, bitter, and angry. Other people, there's even a book, I think there's a book that was written by I think it was a heart surgeon, he might have been a cardiologist, but he wrote a book called Anger Kills, because he knew that his patients were having long-standing unresolved anger issues. And we know that when we're really angry, it produces a toxin in the body. It actually kills the heart slightly. So this is why these emotional states cause physiological things. Now, the more that we incrementally loosen up each and every limitation, whether it's fear, sadness, anger, guilt, shame, depression, the whole lot of it, and we move forward, our bodies will do what they're designed to do, which is heal. And this will be giving the orders to this, and this will be going, yes, I know what to do, we'll do this. That's what I've experienced myself personally, and that's what I've seen with my clients. Now, it's fine if you're saying, well, maybe this will happen, maybe it won't happen. I've got actual physiological things in my knees. Who knows? But even if you move forward and you don't get any change, does it matter? You'll have still moved forward and you'll still have your book. It's more than likely, would you not agree, that there's going to be some physiological change?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Does some of this, what I've talked to you about in this book, resonate with you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. How are you feeling right now?
Good.
Okay, all right.
I'm actually feeling really good.
Okay, all right, okay. What little piece of action can you take today?
Writing a little on my book.
Okay.
I've actually got some more software that is helping me with that, so
Brilliant.
That's really nice.
Okay. Well, your whole energy looks very, very different. You look very glowing and you're sort of very happy, and nothing can stop you, can it?
No.
And not even any of the old emotion if it still comes up. You just have to deal with it. Deal with it when it comes. How much old emotion do you think that there is there now compared to what there once was?
You mean overall, or?
Yeah.
Or today and overall?
Well, why don't you give me one for both?
The old emotions are getting smaller all the time. I mean, I don't know a percentage for sure, but it's definitely getting smaller.
And more manageable if they come up in between sessions?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
More manageable.
All right. And regarding today then?
There's probably a little bit of emotion yet, but not maybe 25% of what it was, that's left.
Okay.
From what it was.
So if it was a 10, it would be now a 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And can you deal with that?
Yeah, I can deal with it.
Okay. Brilliant. So we've taken a huge chunk. Take 3/4 away today. Right. Any questions?
No. Thank you.
You're welcome.